Welcome, and thank you for joining us for today's DealerOn webinar, How to Execute Thumb-Stopping Creative on Facebook Like a Boss. My name is Eliana Raggio, and I'll be your moderator today. Today's webinar is being presented by DealerOn. For anyone who isn't familiar with DealerOn, we're an award-winning website development company and digital agency, best known for our amazing SEO, the best customer service, and the highest converting website designs in the industry, including the award-winning Chameleon responsive website platform. When we got back from NADA, we were awarded the Driving Sales Dealer Satisfaction Award for top-rated websites for an unprecedented 6th year in a row. We also took home the AWA Award for Best Websites, plus FCA announced that we're now an approved vendor. We're still the only company in the industry that offers a money-back lead guarantee program. You want to know more? Yeah, you do. You can check us out at DealerOn.com. Hey, our infamous Digital Strategy Summit at Topgolf Chicago is happening next week, and we are super pumped. Folks have been signing up left and right, so we've decided to reserve the last 10 spots and give them away for free. All you have to do is use the code DealerOnVIP to waive the ticket price when registering. It is a one-day event hosted by Google and DealerOn that focuses on selling cars through websites, paid search, and SEO. It's the best content you get all year. You don't want to have to fly around to different conferences to get it. Seriously, you can't afford to miss this. Remember, use the code DealerOnVIP to get your tickets for free. It is golf, it is Google, and it is, gosh darn it, awesome. Make sure you get your ticket. Remember, it's DealerOn VIP. We have a great show in store for you today. We're very pleased to have Gabrielle Garrison as our presenter today. Gabrielle Garrison is on Facebook's Partner Manager team, where she makes sure clients are thriving at the forefront of the quickly growing and changing digital landscape on Facebook. With 7 years in the media business, Gabrielle has held positions in all aspects of the advertising space, ranging from radio to traditional media and currently digital media. An alumnus of the University of South Florida in Tampa, Gabrielle got her start in advertising, helping small businesses in Tampa succeed in their marketing objectives, and later moved to digital advertising for eBay.com, helping brands such as Progressive, Ford, the Chrysler Group, Ronald McDonald House, and State Farm, just to name a few. Currently living in Austin, Texas, Gabrielle can be reached at linkedin.com/in/Gabrielle Garrison. Also, Gabrielle Garrison will be presenting at the upcoming Digital Dealer Convention September 18th to 20th in Vegas, baby. She'll be presenting on the very first day, and we'll be discussing how dealers can and should motivate Instagram auto shoppers. She's going to tell you how you can tap into the 700 million monthly users on Instagram and how that can help you increase your dealership's overall reach and lower your cost per lead when paired up with your Facebook campaigns. So, take a deep dive into Instagram to learn what motivates the auto Instagrammer to engage with your dealership and complete their auto purchase journey on your dealership lot. For tickets or for more information about the Digital Dealer Conference, visit digitaldealer.com. Now, during the presentation, if you have any questions, please use the question feature located on the corner of your screen to submit them. At the end of the presentation, we'll answer those questions of general interest. If we're unable to get to your question live, we're going to try to respond by email later today. Don't forget, a link to download a copy of this webinar recording will be emailed to you later today for your reference. Feel free to share it with your friends and colleagues. And guess what? Our good friends at Facebook, they're giving away an awesome prize on today's webinar. One lucky attendee is going to win Facebook swag, all kinds of Facebook awesomeness. I am really jealous, people. You have to be on the live broadcast to win it, though, so stay tuned, and you could be the one walking away with this super cool prize today. Also, at the conclusion of the webinar, you're going to get a short survey, so fill it out. We're always looking for quality feedback from our audience. We want to hear what you have to say. Hey, do you tweet much? We hope you do. We'd love to see what you have to say about today's presentation, so please tag us in it. You can use hashtag DealerOnWebby. I'm at Eliana Raggio, and don't forget to also hit up Gabrielle Garrison on LinkedIn. We look forward to seeing what you're saying. All right, everyone, let's get started. Let's listen in as our resident expert from Facebook tells us how to execute thumb-stopping creative on Facebook like a boss. Gabrielle Garrison, I am super stoked you are here today and that you are safe from any kind of fire or explosions. Thank you for being here.
Thank you so much for having me. Yes, let's hope there is no fire drills this time, but I am ready if so. Thank you, everyone, for joining me today. This is actually a presentation that I have never presented publicly before, so everyone is going to be seeing this for the very first time. So happy to do it in such a great community of people all over, even Canada. So very impressed with the attendance here. Just to let you know what we're going to go over today, I'm going to jump into some creative basics that you can jumpstart your advertising if you're in the crawl stage of creative. And then I'm learning about targets and motivators and messaging to go with that creative for a dealership specifically. And then learning creative considerations for mobile. Mobile is a huge part of everyone's life and space, so executing for mobile is going to be important. And then I want you to take away 5 things you can do to enhance your current creative right now, and then of course we'll get to the giveaways and the questions and answer session. So I want to start off with the Facebook newsfeed and how it can differ when someone looks at it from their desktop and mobile. People are scrolling through their news feeds very quickly. On average, people scroll through their desktop news feed in 2.5 seconds, and then people scroll at a speed of 1.7 seconds on their mobile phone. That means within both of these areas, you have either 2.5 seconds or 1.7 seconds for someone to make to notice you, to make an impression on them. Think about when you are looking at something on your phone. If you're looking at it quickly, what is the first thing that you usually see that grabs your eye? Probably it's creative, because creative is something that does stand out. It's something that gets people into the door to learn more about what you're trying to show them. But the thing is, too, the bar has been raised for creative. You know, with this shift to mobile and the people who power the Facebook platform, we have started to see key trends that are important to note when marketing in the digital advertising space. You know, communication has become more visual, and we know that how people are communicating is changing. It's increasingly visual. We also know that the power of a single image can be incredibly powerful. Think about it. Isn't it more powerful to share a photo of your family at the ocean rather than typing about it? You know, images are the new universal language, one that is made up of photos and videos. And you know, and on Instagram alone, nearly 40% of all text posted to Instagram contains at least one emoji in the photo caption. And in some countries, it's higher than that. I think in Finland, it's like 60%. So even within text, photos or creative, it has become more visual. And because of this, you know, people do demand certain kinds of content. And in order to get that content to them that they demand, you need to be in that space where they can identify it when they're scrolling in their newsfeed. But studies have actually shown that we only actually need to see an image for 13 milliseconds to either identify it or know what it is, to know whether or not we want to stop and look at it. So, Eliana, I'm actually going to do a little test with you, if you may. I'm going to show, yes, I'm going to show you an image for 13 milliseconds. And I want you to tell me what you saw afterwards.
Okay.
Are you down? Okay. So I'm about to do it, so just keep watching the screen. What did you see?
I saw a blue Volkswagen, one of those old blue Volkswagen vans. You know, it should have a
yes, yes, that's exactly right. You know, because you were able to see that because our human brain processes images 60,000 times faster than words.
Oh my God. By the way, people really know their stuff. They're like, it's a 72 VW microbus. Oh my goodness, all right.
We are definitely in the auto space. That is amazing. Yes, I love it. Yeah, I mean, and it's right. That's what it was. It was an old van. It was blue. You got everything right, and because it only took you up to 13 milliseconds, so we just proved it. So you know that the power of creative is pretty important. And you know, consumers know that data, like platforms, have information about them. That's not a secret anymore. Everyone's getting things that are very much tailored to the things that they like. So because of that, even though some people are like, everyone's watching me, it's freaking me out, they still expect personalized content. You know, they have the most intimate device they've ever had in their hands, which is their mobile device. So for them, it's a privilege for brands to enter that personalized space. So consumers expect highly relevant, highly personalized content. You know, the accuracy of Facebook's targeting means you can tell that personalized story, but we have to find a way to draw them in. And creative is the very best way that you can do that. So I want to start with creative basics. When you're thinking about creative, and you want to think about creative as if you were a user yourself, there's 3 things that you can ask. Does it stop them? Will their thumb stop scrolling? We call it thumb stopping creative at Facebook because most likely people are holding their phones, they're scrolling through with their thumb, and we want that thumb to stop. And then also, does it stop them and teach them about your brand, product, or campaign, whatever your end goal is for that advertisement? Does it teach them about it? Does it tell them about it? Another thing, does it connect with them? Is it relevant? Does it engage with a story, maybe, not a fact? Does it integrate with your brand? Does it use short copy so they're not having to digest a lot of text on a phone? Or does it inspire them? Tell them what's in it for them so they'll take that desired action you want them to take. You know, leverage the ad unit's full potential. There is a way there you can put an image in it. You can put copy at the top. You can put a headline at the bottom, and you can put a call to action. Make sure you're using all of those pieces together so that they take that desired action and they get something in return for stopping and allowing you into that personal space that they have on their mobile device. Another thing that I think a lot of people don't consider is a creative brief. Because creative is very important, it's the first thing that people do recognize. Having questions around your creative is just as important as having questions around your end goal and how you're going to use Facebook to deliver results that you want to see. So just starting with simple questions like, what is your business? And what do you offer the customer? What is unique about your offer? These kind of questions are things that are going to help determine what kind of creative can go with your end goal. You know, who are you targeting with your ad? What is unique about them? This will help you tailor your creative more to certain target buckets rather than one general message for all target buckets. What do you want your people to think or do when you see your ad? That's where the headline and call to action comes in. That's where the hook, which is the text copy at the top of the image, comes in. And how will you decide if this ad campaign was successful? So what are you going to measure from this? These are things that actually you can ask that help decide what your creative is going to be. And so as you're thinking about your creative brief, I wanted to give you some tips that will help you as you're designing your ads. Of course, though, I want to start with mobile because up to 80% of your ads will be served in the mobile newsfeed just because that's where people are more so than desktop. So ensure that you're optimizing for mobile views. You know, you want to say, is the copy short and to the point? Again, no one likes to read massive paragraphs on phones, so make sure you can get your message in there as short as possible. Also, is it branded? Do they know who you are? There's ways to do that, like Lincoln Motor Company, it does show your page, but you can have hashtags. There's ways you can do that in the headlines. Of course, does the imagery or video grab attention early? We want that 1.7 second scroll. We want the 13 millisecond identifier to stop so they can pay attention to the rest of your ad. And is the message clear and relevant? You want to let them know what you're trying to advertise to them and how to do it. And that's what you're, at the bottom you can use the headline and call to action for. Again, newsfeed is very important. You know, you're going to be entering a space where you might be below a picture of your sister's baby. You might be above a picture of your friend's epic vacation. You know, this is an emotional space for these people because that's where they go to connect with friends and family. So you want to consider that context when creating your ad because you're going to be a part of that very personal space. You know, unlike TV, viewers are not captive and scroll through content quickly. So it's going to be important to find that hook in your creative so they can read the hook in your copy. And, you know, viewers opt in for sound, so create content assuming their sound is off if you're trying to use video creative. Of course, they can turn the video the sound on if they choose, but you want to assume that the sound is off, so you want to do things visually within your creative that maybe can tell that message. You also want to make it relevant. You know, a lot of creative can work for multiple target buckets, but then you also have your goals of maybe summer sales events, certain regional events. Maybe there is something you're partnering with a nonprofit for and you need to tell them about it. You know, all of these kind of things go into your relevance score on Facebook that you get within your ads manager. You know, if the content is not relevant to the viewer, it will cost more to deliver to them. Or it might not even deliver to them at all because they might give feedback back that it doesn't apply to them. In this example here, you see the Faulkner organization is showcasing a Honda. It says the CRV has a generous 37.2 cubic feet of cargo volume to fit more fun into your life. Lease a 2016 Honda CRV LX AWD for as low as $199 a month for 36 months. This example did tie a product benefit to the audience truth of needing more fun into their life. They made this more compelling by trying to get those people who do need the fun, but they also delivered the message. And they had this red vehicle that stuck out within the background to get people to stop and think. And then, of course, with your, I talked a little bit about the creative brief. Part of a creative brief is to align it with your campaign objectives. You know, different formats of creative work at different objective points. For example, Canvas, which is one of our newer ad units, it's kind of like a mini microsite on Facebook if you're not familiar with it. That's a great medium for telling a story, or if you have infographics, something very brand level, something to introduce people to who you are. There's objectives on Facebook like reach, brand awareness, that works really well with Canvas. Additionally, things like carousel and static image ads are great for people when you want to get people to do something. For example, carousel is a great creative example for if you have multiple cars that you want people to look at on your website, you can showcase all those cars in that. That's actually getting them to do something rather than just recognize something. So you want to identify your business objective. Are you looking to drive people onto your website? Are you trying to get them to go into your store? Or are you new to the area and you're just trying to get them to know who you are? Think about those things as you align your creative. You know, if you're showing them something about your dealership and they've already in the search mode and they've already kind of decided who they're going to the dealership with, that might not be the best example to use if you're trying to get them to change their mind. So think about your campaign objectives and think about the creative types on Facebook that will work best with this. And Eliana, I would love to ask a poll question right now.
I think that's a great idea. Thank you so much, Gabrielle. Okay, we have 2 poll questions for everyone today. The first one is on the screen now. We'd love it, of course, if you took part in our poll questions. It lets us know what's happening in your dealership as well as all the dealerships across, well, I was going to say the United States, but we have some people that are not in the United States here today. So I need everyone to vote, all right? So we want to know, what kind of creative assets do you currently use for your digital marketing? Please select one of the following answers. I use whatever is in the marketing packets the OEMs send out. I create my own content to use. I use the OEM marketing packets and my own content together. I work with an ad agency or a vendor, and I just let them decide what to use. Or none. I'm not the creative type. So once we get a majority of the votes in, we're going to close this poll and then share the results. Oh, that's so funny. By the way, Sharpie wrote in, he says, I've taken so many freaking notes so far that my hand is tired already. That's nice. Okay, Greg says his screen is stuck. Still on the Faulkner screen. Okay, Greg, unfortunately, I think you're the only one who's experiencing that. You might be having a Wi-Fi issue. I hate to tell you to do this, but sometimes you got to jump out and jump back in. I'm sorry, Greg.
Good thing is this is recorded.
It is. It's being recorded. Oh my gosh. Who is this person that's bad-mouthing you, Greg? Okay, Greg. Hopefully we'll catch you back here on the flip side. All right. All right. Well, the votes are coming in nice and fast. Yes, the deck will be available to you. We're going to go through that in a little bit. It'll be in the handouts section of the GoToWebinar interface. You can check it out right now if you'd like. Oh, somebody else says I'm sitting right next to him. Okay.
Oh, that's hilarious.
Oh, that is funny. All right. And then Yes, you do the hokey pokey and you turn yourself around. So now let's close this poll and share the results. All right, are you ready for this, everyone? Oh my gosh, now my screen is frozen. What's going on? Share. Okay, here we go. All right, only 1% of today's audience say that they use whatever's in the marketing packets that the OEMs send out. So that's good news, right?
Yeah,
Okay,
definitely.
31%, so almost a third of today's audience say that they create their own content to use. That's awesome.
That's amazing.
That is amazing. 55%, so obviously the majority of today's audience, they say they use the OEM marketing packets plus their own created content together to create something special, all right? 12% of today's audience say that they work with an agency or a vendor and they just let them decide what to use. And then 1% of today's audience says, I'm just not the creative type. All right, Gabrielle, is there a correct answer to this?
There's honestly not a correct answer. The most popular answer was the one that was the most popular.
Okay.
So I expected that. But yeah, no, there's not a correct answer. Creative is definitely different for every dealership and depending on what you're trying to promote. But it's great to know that there's a lot of creative minds out there. So really, I'm really excited about that.
Okay,
But yeah, so I wanted just to keep going from here and just talk about the different targets and different motivators that we can see in the automotive space.
Okay, my screen is frozen, so hold on one second. And
okay.
by the way, Nick says some OEMs require you to use their content. So
They do.
Okay, so I don't know what is wrong, or is it just my screen? Hold on, let's see. Hide. I don't know, it's just not moving for me.
Oh no.
I don't know. Can you go forward a slide or two and see if that kicks it out? We're having some problems here today. I blame Greg. Okay.
I'm flashing back and forth.
Yeah, no, slide deck is, okay, still stuck on the original quick poll. Yeah, so's mine. Okay, so let me try. Oh, great. All right, I'm just going to try something. Stick with me, everyone. All right, I'm going to try showing my screen, God help me, and then going back to Gabrielle's screen.
That was
Hey,
a lovely
that worked.
picture.
All right, that worked. That worked. And I love this.
Okay.
Everyone's writing in. They all blame Greg, too. Sorry, Greg. Okay, go ahead.
Poor Greg, he's going to need like an adult beverage after this or something. Okay, so let's get back to the different targets and different motivators. So Facebook has a lot of different audiences that you can choose from, but they all have different needs. And as I spoke about making your content relevant, they're going to need different creative and messaging. You know, take a moment to think about, you know, and identify the different motivators and barriers within your target audience as you like think about your ads. You know, with the creative shop, by the way, Facebook has a creative shop team here, and they are like Oz behind the curtain. I don't know how they do what they do, but they always pump out something completely amazing. Ariel from that team actually helped make a lot of this content you see today. So just these are the kind of the motivators that when I was talking with them and I got some feedback from dealerships are just three very basic targets that you can start with if you're just trying to think about who your audience is. Everyone has first-time buyers that come into the lot. They are people who want a good deal. They want reliability, but they want the best deal. And then sometimes if they parts and service, they think, oh, it's expensive at dealerships. And they might be very influenced by the media. They might make quick decisions based on third-party opinions and then research. These are the people who do so much research before they even get into the lot. So they're going to be very different from people like brand switchers. We all have those people who hop from brand to brand to brand. It could be that they're not happy with their current vehicle. Service might have been poor in their opinion. But they also might be those people that are always looking for the better deal. But it could be that they're stuck in a lease or the costs associated with it, or they might have seen something on the media that they just didn't like. But those people can also be very different from your loyalty customers. You know, those are the people who have great service. They love the incentives that you might offer for people who have been longer members of the dealership service space. But parts and service can be expensive for them at some times. That's a big topic that I hear a lot, even from people who are loyal and will still pay the prices. And then sometimes they might see competitor advantages, and even though they're loyal, they might question it just a bit. So it might, those kind of things could influence them. So you want to make sure that you're talking very differently to a first-time buyer versus a brand switcher versus a loyalist. And so what we've created here at Facebook with the Creative Shop team is story packs. They're basically just thought starters that will help, you know, create effective ads for you on Facebook. And, you know, there are many ways to tell stories, but, you know, we want to make sure that you're choosing recurring themes to create a familiar structure for your business. You want to make sure you're telling one story across all platforms. You want to make sure it's consistent. So we're going to just give you some thought starters behind those three buckets of people that you can use if you need. So first-time buyers, I said, you know, I talked to them a lot about how they're wanting a good deal, they want reliability, they want cost to be low. So maybe a great thought starter here is to do a testimonial. Feature a past customer and their experience buying a car. You know, hearing reviews from someone who actually bought a car could help first-time buyers make a decision, because they are relying on research online to help motivate them to actually decide on the car that they want. But also, they want to know why you're different. They want you to sell them. You know, is your dealership family owned? Does it offer service too? Does it have a larger selection of cars than anyone else in your area, so they can choose the bells and whistles that they have because they have more options? You know, tell your customers about these kinds of stories. They want to know what makes you different, what's going to make you stand out, so they say, there's without a doubt I am going to this dealership. And then features. You know, think about focusing your ad on specific features, or several in an ad unit like carousel, but make sure you're being a little strategic about it. You know, think about the audience and what appeals to them. First-time buyers might be younger and more interested in tech and all the bells and whistles that will make their car unique. So maybe featuring the tech that's in the car would be very applicable to them. Think about people who maybe are retired and they are very wise about their dollars. Maybe they might want to know about the fuel efficiency of the car. So talking to them about that would be more applicable than talking to them about the tech that you would talk to for the younger audience. And then promotions. Everyone likes a deal, right? So featuring sales or new offerings and ads that can convince first-time buyers to take the plunge is a great idea. Summer sales event is huge for dealerships, and we're in that space right now, so talking about that to them would make a great incentive for them to think about your dealership a bit more. And then the brand switchers. These are the ones that we hate to love and love to hate because we're always having to talk to them. So some great thought starters for them is, you know, show that you know your stuff, that you know what you're doing. You know, feature your employees. I'm talking about the benefits of a brand and their favorite features to position your dealerships on the brand. Or, you know, if they're thinking about going to a local place to get their oil changed that is not a dealership, talk about how your dealership maybe might use OEM parts versus parts that might come from a third party. Think about these things that will help incentivize those people to not switch brands. And, you know, change can be tough. You know, helping them see why switching is well worth the effort if you are trying to get them to switch. You know, does the new brand offer features that your competitors lack, better price point, you know, whatever it is that you have over your frenemies, as I like to call it, and, you know, make sure it's clear, but make sure it's truthful and beneficial to the person that is viewing it. And then, of course, talking about dealership benefits, what makes you stand out, and then promotions as well. Everyone likes a good deal, so talking about the promotions will also help them get into the lot a bit more. Then the loyalists. These are the people that you probably don't have to spend too much money on because they are already very loyal. I like to say loyalists are the people that you communicate with on your page. Don't pay for the likes. Have your loyalists go there and send your message there. But sometimes you do need to let them know about certain things that are going on in your dealership that you want to put paid media behind. So feature their place, appeal to loyalists and locals by featuring their city, their town in the ads. Appeal to them by making it more local, make it relatable to them. And if they love your brand, what are some of the features and benefits that loyalists love about your brand? Call these out to them so that they know that you're talking to them, that you care about their business past the purchase of just their vehicle. And then appeal to your base of customers by offering longtime customer-specific deals. If they've been loyal, pay it forward and help them feel the love and keep them coming back. Loyalists love these kind of things, and these are the people who are going to spread that positive word of mouth more so than anyone else. You want to make sure that you are appealing to what they love about you and that what you love about them. And now, of course, video, our mobile video is huge. Video is huge in general on Facebook. Right now, we're at 100 million hours of video watched daily on Facebook, which is completely nuts. So mobile video is going to be very important, and it's a little different than just your regular video. So I'm going to go through 3 tips that are going to help you understand mobile video a bit more. There's going to be some videos that you can watch, and then we'll talk about it a little bit. All right, that was complete sensory overload for me, but I'm sure many of you found within like the first few seconds that was TLX. Put who you are at front and center. People can usually identify what a brand is within the first 3 seconds, and then they usually can know the entire story within the 10 seconds. So making your videos about 15 seconds or less on mobile is going to be more beneficial to you. And start with your most captivating elements because they can identify things within the first 3 seconds. Incorporate your brand within those first 3 seconds. Hook people with your most engaging content at the very beginning and so that they can continue watching it. But make sure it's short and quick and to the point, like text. They don't want to have a massive amount of it as they're scrolling through their newsfeed. Same with videos that they're not going to know is coming their way. So I'm pretty sure that most of you can agree with me that I probably didn't need the sound on to know what Honda was trying to get across to me. And that's what you want to make sure you do. Design for sound off. You want to tell your story as visually as possible. Use text and graphics to help deliver your message. I know a lot of OEMs require you to have a certain amount of text in your images. This is a way that you can do that. Try captions with video. Facebook, we'll have a feature where you can turn captions on if you don't have an ad that has a lot of text in it. Delight with audio, but don't inform them with audio. So make sure that you're informing them with your creative, and then make sure audio is just that extra feature that they can turn on for the full experience. Now this one is sound off, but I just wanted to talk about the framing of it. So you want to, on Facebook, you have an opportunity to explore different frames. So try that. If there is a certain video that highlights certain elements that maybe has a longer format, then try that. If you can do something in a square, that you can, and square is popular on Instagram platform as well, then try it out. See what you're trying to feature and see what framing works best for it so that it is front and center and that the user can identify exactly what it is that you want them to see. Now this is an app that you can use to help turn photos into videos, which I absolutely love. The great thing about these apps is that they are completely free. So I'm just going to show you a video of this one app that I think is a great option to turn photos into videos. Now, how cool would that be to have all that text that needs to go into images for OEM maybe rules, have it be put in a very creative way. I absolutely love this app. It's a lot of fun. You can even do it if you're trying to do slideshows for family photos and things like that. But it's so great to try out with ads, so I encourage you to download this app and give it a try.
That was really cool. That was really cool. Yeah. Oh my gosh, people are already writing in. They're saying, I'm downloading Ripple right now.
Yes. Yes.
Okay. Oh, it's time for a poll question. Okay. Let's see now. I had to turn the polls off. Okay. Let's hopefully this next one won't give us problems like the first one. All right. Last poll question, I should say, is on the screen now. We'd love it if you take part in our poll. I know there's a lot of words on the screen, but let's go with it together. Okay. Do you create video creative specifically for digital advertising, or do you recycle TV creative for your digital advertising? Please select one of the following. Do you create video content specifically for digital advertising? Do you use your TV creative in your digital advertising campaigns? Do you use TV creative, but you won't anymore after today? Do you beg, borrow, and steal whatever creative you can get your hands on? Or do you have a dealership that's really cheap so you don't make any videos? Once we get a majority of the votes in, we're going to close this poll and share the results. And we want to know, where do you get your video creative for when it comes to digital advertising? So the votes are coming in fast. Thank you so much. Let's see. Oh, yeah, they're downloading Ripple right now. All right, all right. Greg says he steals it from DealerOn. All right, well, that's one way to go. Okay, so okay, Erica wrote in, we use both TV creative and we create our own. Okay, cool.
Nice.
All right, so we're gonna talk some more about that. Okay, votes, audience, you guys are killing it today. Thank you so much for all of your votes. We're going to close this poll in another couple seconds, and then we will go through and share the results. Gabrielle, you ready?
I'm ready.
All right, here we go. Let's see what happens now. All right, the majority of today's audience say that they create video content specifically for digital advertising. 63% of today's audience said that. That's amazing.
That brings tears of joy to my eyes. Like, I love it.
Okay, good. 8% of today's audience say that they use their TV creative in their digital advertising campaigns. Only 5% of today's audience say that they use TV creative, but they won't anymore after today. 11% of today's audience say they beg, borrow, and steal whatever creative they can get their hands on. And the remaining 13% of today's audience say, well, we're really cheap over here, so we just don't make videos at all. All right. Gabrielle, obviously you have a favorite answer to this, or don't you?
Of course.
Yes.
I do, yes. I definitely do. I think you should design for the digital space. It is very different from a TV screen, so it's great that most of the audience has that. For those who, might have said the last two, the great thing about that app that I just showed you is that it's free.
Oh.
So you can actually download that app. And then there's some others I'm going to show you at the end. And you can make it for free with your images. So hopefully that's something that you'll consider.
Okay. Now, a few comments I want to bring to your attention, Gabrielle. Sarah, for instance, she wrote in, I have put a few TV creatives onto Facebook just because the quality is so much better. Thank you, Sarah. Paul wrote in,
Yeah.
I do both actually. I use commercials and I create my own for walkarounds and dealership Facebook videos. Thank you, Paul.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Oh, and then Sarah wrote back in, she says, we do a lot of our own stuff, but it's done mostly on an iPhone, so the quality isn't fantastic. So thank you for that.
You know what's really funny about that? Our creative shop here at Facebook actually encourages people to do things from their mobile phone. There is a company called, if you want to look it up, it's called Spiralized. It's one of those like things that you make like zucchini and squash into like spaghetti.
Okay.
Their ads look so incredibly professional, and you would never know that they use a tripod, an iPhone, and a poster board that looks like marble, a marble countertop, to shoot all of their videos.
How did you find that out?
That is something that our creative shop actually told me about. And yeah, so they use simple things. So it's actually, you know, maybe if you do use your iPhone, try using a tripod. You know, as long as you have something visual in there and the message is correct, it can resonate with people. You know, not all things have to be super professional, but there are apps out there that help you stand out a little more. And that kind of goes into some of the things that you can do right now to help just amplify some of your creative. So one of the things is to add motion. You can do that with the Ripple app. This was actually done with Photoshop, which is a little more advanced, but I wanted to show you like the possibilities of like what a single image can do. Using the Ripple app is great, and then there's going to be some others at the end that you can explore as well. But adding motion, of course, is going to be really attractive to users. Animating text. We saw that with Ripple on how to turn photos into video, but if you just wanted to keep an image the way it is, Legend is an app that allows you to do that. And it's a great app. I absolutely love it. And the great thing about this is that it kind of makes it into like a video or a GIF, and only the thumbnail in the picture of your dealership, like your profile picture that shows up in an ad, must meet the 20% text rule. So again, you have those text rules that OEMs require you to put in the images. Legend is a great way to do that, and I'm going to show you a video of how it works.
Again, very cool. Very easy, it seemed.
Yes, it is very easy. It's actually probably one of the most popular apps used with Facebook employees as we explore ways to create ads. So that is one. If you have images and you're not quite ready for video, try it out. It's going to be in a very unique way to get people's attention. And everyone loves GIFs. A lot of people are like, oh, this is kind of like a GIF or GIF, however you say it. It's a big battle here at Facebook with employees, the way you say it.
Okay, if you guys don't know, then we definitely don't know. I was actually going to ask you that. I'm going to be like, oh, this message is from Ellen. Is it a GIF or a GIF? Okay, so you guys don't know either?
I mean, I just like the GIF, the G sound on that, because my name is Gabrielle Garrison, so GIF. That way, I think it's phenomenal, but I'm biased.
That sounds legit to me. I'll go with that. I don't care.
Yeah. So, so another way you can stand out on Facebook is to change the background. This one moving with the clouds was done in Photoshop. So if you have someone who's Photoshop handy, that's a great way to do it. But then sometimes you have those pictures where you're trying to feature a car, then you put the background of a road, and then it might not necessarily fit on the road. So sometimes it looks a little copy and pasted, so just change the background a little bit. As long as that hero image is in there, changing the background will make it more enticing to the user, because a lot of times if users see a car that looks copy and pasted onto a road, it might not resonate with them that much. Or adding motion, if you can, is a great way. But just always make the car that focal point. You know, you have a lot of assets. The OEMs require you to use some of theirs. Use them. You can use a carousel image if you want to use your own as well, and kind of mix the two and make it more interesting. But change up the background if that car that you try to put on a lot of a static image just doesn't make sense. And then carousel, I just wanted to give some tips and tricks for this, because I think this is the most popular format used in the auto space, and a great way to showcase different features of a car or multiple cars. Or if your message is too complex for one image, again, we can go back to when OEMs require you to put certain text on images. See if you can break it up into a carousel image. You know, take advantage of the copy below. Every image card has copy below and has a call to action, so take advantage of the space there. But there's different ways in a carousel you can break up that message so that the message gets across, and it's your original image that the user first sees is not so text heavy. And then just some copy tips and tricks for some basic guidelines for your ad. Keep it to 1 to 2 lines if you right above the image, to try to connect with the audience emotionally. This is going to be your hook. And then also consider the hierarchy of the message. What info is appearing where is going to be important. People usually read top to bottom or left to right, so make sure that you're following that flow as well. Again, the 20% text rule only applies to the thumbnail of a video. So when you're using video, you can put as much text in there as you want, and we encourage text for these, especially because sound is usually off for these users in a newsfeed. Then test it out. You know, upload your ad. We have some resources. This is going to be in the link to the Creative Hub. Creative Hub is absolutely a phenomenal tool. It lets you kind of test different things out, and then you can move it to your ad account if you like what you saw, and you can also move it to your phone so you can see for yourself what the user is going to see. And then make sure the ask is clear. What do you want these users to do, and how do you want them to do it? You know, this one, it says test drive your new car. Don't miss this sale. And then the button says learn more, so they can learn more on your website. These are very important things that you want to complement with your imagery so that you have the full message for that user to be excited to learn more about your dealership. And suggested resources, this is a part of the handout. You know, there's different links to learn how to create your own mobile studio. I was talking about Inspiralize. I believe they're in the mobile studio link there, so you can learn how they use very little items on a very small budget to create phenomenal creative. And then creative tricks for short form video. If you're not very versed with short form and you are only versed maybe on the TV side, this will help you out. And then, of course, I talked about the Creative Hub. There's the link to go there to play around. Slideshow is another creative example, or creative format that we have on Facebook. You can turn photos into videos. If you want to just do it straight on Facebook, you can do it there. If not, use the Ripple app. And then also, for the first time, I'm actually able to pass out slides. At Facebook, we usually don't pass out slides. Creative Hub did a phenomenal job of us being able to do that. If you want the PowerPoint version of it versus the PDF that you have in the handout box there, there is the link to do so, so you can get all the animations if you want them. Also, there is a group on Facebook called #PlayMore. Users, it's not Facebook employees, it's users who are sharing creative that resonates with them. And it's all verticals, but it's ways to get ideas. I encourage you to join. Action items. Here I've listed the top 10 creative apps that the Creative Shop at Facebook suggests for different kinds of items. You've learned about 2 of them today, and then there are more here to test out. Try to download one of those creative apps and experiment with it. Take one of your current creative and revamp it in that app. Take it and test it against your original creative in Facebook. See which one resonates more. Never stop testing and iterating at Facebook. That's what we are always doing. That's how we are able to move fast and push out products as fast as we can. And then if you saw better results from it, let me know about it. Message me on LinkedIn. We always love hearing success stories at Facebook. So let me know and see, let me know what works for you, or let me know what didn't work. I am always open to hear more. I love information, especially from dealerships directly. So reach out to me. But that is all I have for today. Thank you so much for sticking with me through all this. No fire alarms. Hallelujah. Yet, knock on wood. But love to take some questions now.
I think that would be a great idea. Thank you so much, Gabrielle. That was a lot of information. We're going to get back to you in just a moment, so take a sip of water. Let me talk to the audience for a little bit. All right, audience, we are going to get to your questions. If you haven't gotten in your question yet, now would be a great time to write in your questions. Before we do that, I do want to direct your attention over to the handout section of the GoToWebinar interface. So look on your look on your interface and look for any word that says handouts. There's a little triangle next to it. Click on that little triangle. It'll open up, and in there you're going to find 2 wonderful handouts for you. The handouts today, first of all, is that copy of the suggested resources and action items that Gabrielle just showed you. So all those links are in there. And then the other one is the Tier 3 Automotive Creative Playbook for Facebook. So they are putting together actual items for you to check out. It's basically a checklist for you to go through and make sure that if you're advertising on Facebook or you're putting out some creative on Facebook, that you're doing it right and you're getting the best results that you possibly can, because they're telling you how to do it. So download those 2 incredible handouts. You have until the end of this broadcast to do so. And if you have any problems with that, just email me directly and I'll send it out to you directly. But this is the easiest way we can get that out there to you, okay? Hey, before we get to your questions, we got a prize to give away, don't we, darling?
We do.
It's that time. If you missed it at the beginning of the webinar, I announced that our good friends over at Facebook giving away an amazing prize today. One lucky attendee is going to win some Facebook swag and all kinds of Facebook awesomeness. People, I am J.E. Ellis. I wish I could win this. I can't, but you know what? You can. All you have to do is be the first person to have the correct response to our giveaway question, and this prize is yours. So if you are a vendor, we're going to ask you to please kindly sit this one out. This prize is intended for dealership personnel only. We love having you, though. So sit back, relax, and watch the fun as all of these attendees fight over this prize. Good luck, everyone. According to Facebook internal data, on average, how fast does a user scroll through their mobile news feed? Oh my gosh, I have to scroll up. Hold on one second. Hey Gabrielle, did you just give me a minimum or was it like a range?
It was one number. It was the average. I spoke about it in the beginning.
Okay, so I'm looking for just the one number.
Mm-hmm.
Scott Morozic wrote in 1.7. I'm assuming he meant seconds. Yes, he was the first person to write it in. Boy, and it was tough, too. It was a very, very close one. So, Scott Morozic, congratulations. I don't think you've ever won on my show before, have you? Morozic. Hey, Scott,
Congrats.
What dealership are you from? Congratulations. You're going to be getting some Facebook swag from our good friends over at Facebook. No, he says first time. He is with Tubbs Brothers in Sandusky, Michigan? MI is Michigan, right?
Yeah.
I really have to work on my M states. Okay, Ford Chrysler dealership, congratulations, Scott. I'm going to need your mailing address so that Gabrielle can get these cool prizes out to you as quickly as possible. It was a close one, by the way. I know some people wrote in, a lot of people wrote in 13 milliseconds. So that was
13 milliseconds.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's how much it takes for a user to identify an image. But that's a good guess too. But yeah,
scrolling speed is 1.7 seconds. All right. Thank you everyone for playing along. We hope you had fun. Now look, we only had one cool prize to give away today, and of course Scott won that one, but you know what? We give away cool prizes every week. So come on back to another DealerOn webinar, and that might be the day that you win a cool prize on a DealerOn webinar. For right now, Scott Morozic is our big winner today. And Scott, if you feel like sharing any of that Facebook swag, well, let me know. Let a webinar goddess know. All right. Now, Gabrielle, why don't you go to the next slide and let's get to some questions from the audience.
Cool.
All right. I still have it on the Facebook swag slide. Oh, there we go. All right, here we go. All right, first question comes in from Sharpie. Sharpie says, just curious, but if you use the OEM stuff and everyone else is using the OEM stuff, then what makes your ad stand out? I think that's where she was going with that, David.
Yeah, that's a really good question. So if you're using it the same way that everyone else is using it, it's going to be the message. But if you can break it up, like in Carousel, for example, you can maybe use some of their images, some of yours. It can stand out. Or if you use it with the Ripple app, there's different ways that you can cater creative that you get to kind of hack it and make you look different. So I would encourage that, but if not, and you just use the still image, it's going to all be about the hook, the copy, how you're speaking to the users is going to be very important.
All right, thank you so much. Great question, Sharpie. Okay, next question. Well, not so much a question, but a comment. Maurice wrote in, he wanted to point out the biggest downside with Ripple might be the compliant auto fonts. For instance, Infiniti, Mercedes, and others will not let you run an ad if you do not use their specific font. Is there a way to upload a specific font into Ripple? Is that something you might know, Gabrielle, or is there another workaround?
I don't know the answer to that. But what you can do, if you do like something within Ripple or something similar, you can try to create that font yourself in the design that they have it, if you can creatively hack that, and then put those images into slideshow, which is a Facebook format, and then that will create like a slideshow of images, kind of like Ripple does. The text might not animate, but you'll still have that look and feel.
All right, Maurice, thank you for pointing that out for us. We really appreciate that. If you have a follow-up question, we'd love to hear it. Okay, Meg wrote in, I need tons of help with creative. We're in the middle of changing almost all of our digital vendors. How can we maximize our dealer group's OEM requirements while at the same time being user-friendly? We have Toyota, Chevy, Buick, GMC, Ford, Subaru, Mazda, and Hyundai, plus our own businesses. So I want to stay as consistent as possible and using the least number of vendors. Meg, this is a problem and I feel your pain. Gabrielle, do you have any advice for Meg and other dealers like her?
Well, I know that certain OEMs do require you to use certain vendors. For example, if you do use a website provider, if you're a Fiat Chrysler auto user, and talk to them a little bit about what they do with their, if they have a digital side, what they do with their creative, what kind of vendors that they use to make them stand out. Ask for case studies if they have them. So that can help a lot just to kind of make you stand out. And then also I would probably ask the success of their campaigns that are compliant versus the ones that haven't been successful, and ask them maybe why. This is going to be, you're investing a lot of dollars into these vendors, so asking the hard questions is going to be something that you need to do. Try not to learn it over time, try to be very upfront, and then that will help you, because then you'll know where your dollars exactly are going, so then you can budget for the rest if you need to outsource from there.
Thank you so much. Meg, if you have a follow-up, we'd love to hear back from you, and we wish you the best of luck. I know it's not an easy job. All right, next one. Oh, Chloe. First of all, that's the perfume I wear, so I love that. Chloe wrote in, how do I grow a bigger Instagram following? And Gabrielle, I know, this is like a whole nother webinar topic, isn't it?
Well, if you're at Digital Dealer, please come to my session, because that's all I'm talking about is Instagram and then auto shoppers. I would say right now, one of the easiest things that you can do is share your Instagram page to your Facebook page. So you can get your followers on Facebook, on Instagram. But then also you want to make sure that with Facebook ads or any kind of ads, you're going to see the opportunity on Facebook to, like, there's going to be a thumbs up in the mobile screen on the top right-hand side. On Instagram, there's going to be a chance to follow. Entice the users with an ad that's going to attract them. And then they're going to have the option to like your page or follow you on Instagram. Pay for the actions you want them to actually do on your lot, and then the follows will follow. You don't always want to pay for them up front because you might not know what you're getting. You might get some loyalists on another place that maybe just was looking at your page or something, and you don't want to give them access to your page up front if they ended up going to another brand. You want to give access to your page and your Instagram pages as well to people who are loyal. So one, if your loyal followers aren't on there, spread the news. But if not, as you're trying to get those people onto your dealership lot, just make sure everything that I talked about today is in line, and then they usually end up liking you from there.
I love it. All right, Chloe, if you have a follow-up question, we'd love to hear back from you. And who knows, maybe Gabrielle will be here sometime talking about how to grow your Instagram following in the future on DealerOn webinar. We'll see. We don't know. All right, next question comes to you from Jordan. He says, we make a lot of our own creative, and we mention their name in the video and show our customers what they want to see, and it works really well. Video creative is definitely important. Thank you, Jordan.
That's Jordan Cooper, yes.
Paul wrote in, are there any apps for video that you recommend when using phones? Now, this was, I think, right before you went through a few of these apps. So did you show us the only apps that are available, or you showed us your favorite apps?
Yeah, so the two I showed in the videos are definitely my favorite. And then there was some in the handout that you had for action items. Creative Shop put the top 10 apps that they believe are the best to use for certain circumstances. So I would check those out. But I really like Ripple and Legend. One for video, one for static images. So try those out and see. But if not, there's that list that you can refer to.
Okay, Paul, thank you so much for a great question. Erica has the next question. She says, we purchased a phone stabilizer that fits a phone to help our videos look more professional. It makes a big difference. Gabrielle, we're agreeing with you, Erica. Definitely a good use of money. They're not that much. I think they're under $200. Some of them are even under $100. So anything you can do to make it look even better, absolutely. Erica, good luck with that. All right, next question comes in from Greg. Greg says, Gabrielle, what do you find to be the most effective auto ad on Facebook, as in the highest CTR? Now, I'm sure you're not familiar with every ad that hits Facebook, but is there one that you can remember that maybe you thought, hey, that one's a good one, that maybe we could tell people about?
I can give you maybe the ad type. Carousel ads, that's the one of the multiple images. That tends to work really well. Just because it gives the user multiple things to look through. Another great thing about Carousel is that you can start with a video. So that first image can be a video, and then they can scroll through and see images. Like, say you're trying to feature a car, and that video are the cars in the video. Then you can scroll through your news feed after that, or scroll through the ad and the different images and show features of the car. So I would try Carousel. I think that is a great option. And then from there, video. Of course, video is always the most popular. It will captivate users. 100 million hours of video are watched daily on Facebook. So I would try that as well if you do have outlets for video.
Okay, it looks like we lost our webcam, so hopefully that'll come back up soon. Okay, Greg says, thank you, Gabrielle. Okay, next question comes in from Jonathan. He says, can you tell me more about the Creative Hub? Jonathan apparently had never heard about it. So where can people find it? What kinds of stuff can they see on it?
Yes. Okay. So the Creative Hub is something that our Creative Shop team built within our Facebook tools to help advertisers experiment a little more. And not only just experiment, so you can go on, say, for example, you have never tried a Canvas ad. Canvas ad is one of those ads that when you open it up, it's like a mini microsite. You can scroll through and experience a bunch of cool different things before going to the website. You can actually play around and try to build a Canvas ad in the creative shop. But then it doesn't end from there. The great thing about it is you can send that Canvas to your phone, so you can experience the ad yourself, or you can send it to someone else. But then if you really like it, you can upload it into your ads management system and use it. So it's a great tool. From beginner to advanced, people use it. So I would encourage you to try it out.
I like it.
I love
Okay.
it.
Jonathan, if you have any more questions like that, send them in. We'd love to help you. Okay, next question is Joey's. He says, hey, Joey, what ad formats deliver the best results on Facebook? Oh, that's a direct question. All right, so what ad formats do we like the best on Facebook? Which ones are we going to get the most bang for our buck?
Yeah, so I spoke, and this goes back to Greg's question as well, so carousel and video. I think start there and then experiment. But then I did remember I did talk about how it needs to align with your objectives. So think about your objective and think what's going to work best. But usually carousel tends to be very popular, especially into that 1 to 3 month phase when people are starting to search online and you want them to go to your website.
I like it. All right, Joey, you got a follow-up question? We're here. Ashley says, hey, the app Legend is $1.99. Is it worth it?
I did not know it was $1.99. I thought it was still free. But yes, it is 100% worth it. I love it. If you are open to being like a little creative with your text and you're allowed to, then yes, I do think so. I think it's gonna, if you have some text that you want to put in your image, it's a better way to do it. It's a more attractive way to users.
Now this is funny.
We're obsessed with it at Facebook.
Yeah. Ashley, just so you know, Sharpie just wrote in. He said, I just downloaded it for free. So Ashley, maybe look again and see if you can
Is
get
Ashley in Canada?
Is Ashley in Canada? Ashley, are you in Canada?
I don't know if maybe that's a factor. I'm just guessing.
Okay. Sarah said I paid for it too. Ashley said no, she's not in Canada. Sarah said it's free on Android, but $1.99 on Apple.
Oh, well, I have 2 Androids, so maybe that's why.
That's why. Okay. Mystery solved. All right, Ashley, you're obviously just using the wrong phone. Okay, so other than that, yes, it's totally worth it. All right, wish you the best of luck. Thank you, everyone, for solving that mystery for us. Okay, Meg wrote back in. She said, what was the group you just stated we could add you on?
#PlayMore. It's a great group to explore different creatives that users on Facebook are sharing that resonate with them. Please join it. It's great.
Okay, wonderful. By the way, Greg wrote in, he says, just a thought, the workaround for the font type limitation for certain OEMs would be to upload the approved font as a picture. That's a good idea. Thank you, Greg. Yep. I think that was Jordan who asked that. So hopefully that helps you out. Thank you, everyone. All right. I love this. See, coming together, helping each other out. This is beautiful. All right. Sarah has the next question. Sarah says, I loved this. I'm looking forward to using those Facebook apps. I appreciate knowing that videos can only have 20% text if they're sponsored. What's the ratio for images? I feel like most of the things you've shown today wouldn't have been approved on our Facebook because of too much text in the image. It's something I struggle with every day. This is from Sarah.
Yes. Yeah, Sarah. So this is actually a conversation I had with one of my clients this morning. So the 20% text rule only applies to that thumbnail image, your profile picture, and a video. But still with images, we technically don't have that rule anymore. We lifted that rule, but we didn't lift it from the minds of the users. The reason why that image or that rule was there because feedback was given, as people can give feedback, and it helps or hurts your relevance score, that they didn't like text so much. They wanted that image. They didn't want it to be flooded by text, which I know is a problem in this dealership space because we have to have text on images. So I would try to maybe use the carousel and see if you can break that text up, because you might not be getting delivery, because as your ad delivers, it's going to try to deliver to those people that have already given feedback that they don't like text. So you don't want your ad to get to deliver those people if they're going to give you negative feedbacks, because that can hurt your relevance score. So just try to break it up. There is a tool on Facebook. It used to be the text overlay tool. I think if you search on Bing or Google, Facebook text overlay tool, it should show up. And you can upload your image in there, and it will tell you if it's high, medium, or low, and how your delivery will be before you make the ad.
Okay, Sarah, I hope that helps you out. I know it's a struggle. So if you have a follow-up question, we'd love to hear from you. Thank you so much. All right, next question comes in from Oscar. Hey, Oscar. He says, what organic methods do you suggest we try to get more likes? Again,
so
whole nother webinar topic.
Yeah, so organic is a little tricky just because our newsfeed is growing. More people and brands are entering the Facebook space. So that means less space on their newsfeed for all of your content to appear. So I would encourage you to use your organic space for your loyalists. Get your loyalists on those pages because you, I said this a little bit before, but your loyalists, you know they're going to be loyal. So you don't need to spend so much money on them because you know they're going to come to you no matter what for parts and service or whatever it is you're trying to get them to come in for. You need to spend your money on the people who aren't like that. So maybe spend a little more time for loyalist incentives in your organic content, or any of the kind of family oriented things that you do. I know a lot of dealerships partner with nonprofits. That is a great way to show some of your nonprofit space because loyalists, again, love to know that you're connecting with their community.
I agree. Oscar, thank you so much for that great question. And thank you, Gabrielle. A very short, concise answer. Oh, by the way, Oscar said, great, thank you. I appreciate it. Okay, just a handful more questions and then we'll close out the show. Neil wrote in, he says, you mentioned people spend 2.5 seconds to scroll on a desktop through Facebook. Does that mean we typically spend 2.5 seconds looking at each post?
Yeah, no, so no, that's just the amount of time they're scrolling through usually to find something that resonates with them. And that's when they stop. So yeah, so no, it's just usually the amount of time it takes to scroll through and find something. Usually once they find a post that makes their thumb stop, that's when they spend the amount of time that they feel they need to
yeah, because when I'm on my phone, I only see like maybe 1.5, 2 at the most posts at one time while I'm scrolling. But if I'm on my desktop, I'm seeing like 3, 4, sometimes 5 posts in one screenshot. So of course it might take me longer to look through 4 or 5 posts, right? So Neil, thank you so much. Great question. Okay, Nick has the next question. He says, Nick says, Infinity allows you to use alternative fonts like Arial, Verdana, etc. And then he went on to say, thank you for the webinar, Gabrielle. Question for you. We're mainly comprised of loyalists on our Facebook pages. Do you find that photos or videos resonate more with loyalists? We've tried doing more video, but mainly just with customer reviews and walk-around videos, etc. What's your recommendation, Gabrielle?
Well, they've gotten it right. That was great to hear. That's what you should use your page for, loyalists. Videos always are more resonate more with people if you have them, just because video is becoming more popular. I think I said this on my last webinar with you. By 2020, at least 50% of your impressions served on a mobile device will be video. In all platforms. So video is growing. So keep using video. Make sure those videos aren't long though, too long, because they're on their mobile device. They might be on the go. They want something a little short. Yeah, so I would just make it maybe
like 30 seconds?
With ads, yes. Maybe if it's on your page, it might be a little more, like up to a minute, I think would be really great. Another cool thing I think is interesting to do, we have apps on our Facebook platform and Instagram platform called Boomerang and Hyperlapse. Hyperlapse, it makes a long video very short and it like speeds it up.
Okay, yeah.
Doing test drives with clients and showing like where you go and speeding it up, saying we took another trip with our new car around here, like showing that they went to their local space is super cool. And then Boomerang is always fun. If you have like a new feature in a car that you want to show, it kind of rewinds it. Buick recently used Boomerang. Like Buick Corporate used Boomerang and saw great results in their Instagram stories. So I encourage you to try those as well, because if you haven't tried it yet and then they scroll through and see it, they're going to be like, whoa, what is this? And they're going to stop.
Okay, all right. Nick wrote back and he says, great ideas. Thank you, Gabrielle. Okay, next question comes in from Greg. He says, are the strategies you spoke about today applicable with retargeting ads also? Good question, Greg.
Absolutely. Yeah. Yeah. If you're doing your retargeting ads, these things can definitely work. Of course, with retargeting, a lot of the time on Facebook, you do need the Facebook pixel. Highly encourage you to learn more about that and implement it if you haven't already. But yeah, any of these can work because you're trying to get people from your site to buy cars, and those are like the first-time buyers who research a lot, for example, and brand switchers might even be there. So definitely can.
Okay, Greg, good luck with that. Use it. Okay, last question comes in from Paul. Oh, by the way, Greg says thank you. Paul says, we've been using Facebook lead generation, but we've noticed more bad leads. Is there any way to help gear it towards the right buyers?
Yeah, so this, I mean, I've heard that a little bit in the space. I think it's just maybe about like targeting, and then also leads on Facebook need to be viewed a different way. When people are on Facebook, they usually aren't expecting, they're not in search mode, so they're not expecting to fill those kind of forms out. They're not ready for it. So when they're doing it, it might be something that interests them, and they go through it very quickly, and then they keep browsing. So when they're like on Facebook, and like it takes them a while to remember. So you just have to think of leads in like a different way with these people. So maybe they're not ready to buy a car just yet. So maybe when you approach them, if it's that they just don't remember, or sometimes maybe the phone number doesn't work. Try to ask maybe a little more questions on your lead form to try to get that information if the information is bad. But then if the information is good, someone responds, you need just to let them know, just be like, hey, we heard you might be interested in a vehicle. Are you ready to buy? If not, can I help you out with something during your decision process? So just thinking about leads in a different way is going to help you tailor the actual questions more or the conversation more.
Okay, all right. And then let's see. Says Rebecca, thank you so much, Gabrielle. I loved this info. And then she put a lot of exclamation marks after that. And Sharpie said, by the way, the picture of the pencil on Gabrielle's wall is awesome.
Oh, we have a lot of posters at Facebook. Yeah, we have a lot of posters. This is just a few of them. So they're all over our office. So.
Gabrielle, seriously, you served up another awesome presentation. I love having you on my show. And by the way, for those of you who are not in the know, I'm just going to let you know right now, we already have Gabrielle scheduled for another webinar coming up in early Q4. She has some groundbreaking stuff that she's going to be sharing with us then. I don't want to give it away unless we can. Can we? We can't give it away.
I think let's let them learn a little more when we post it to the website. I wanna keep it a secret just a little bit longer.
Just a little more. All right, audience, you're just going to have to keep your eyes peeled for that one, okay? But just so you know, it's going to be in early Q4, so sometime in October, Gabrielle's going to be back with something that Facebook has never done before. So we're very, very excited about it, and it should be something that is going to be of tremendous value to all of you dealers out there. It is specifically designed for dealers. Something, oh gosh, I just want to tell them, Gabrielle. No, okay, we're not going to tell them.
Tears and heart went into this, so I cannot wait.
Okay, me neither, but we're going to wait. We're going to wait. Yes, people are writing in. I love it already. What the hell is it? Tell us. No, I can't tell you. Gabrielle won't let me. I don't want to anger the Facebook gods. All right, so, but right now, we're going to say goodbye to Gabrielle and welcome her back in just a few short weeks. She'll be back to give us some more phenomenal information. So Gabrielle, always a pleasure having you. Thank you. By the way, she was just at Women in Automotive with me, and she slayed it, as I always knew that she would. I want to remind the audience, by the way, tons of people are writing in. Thank you, Gabrielle. This is really wonderful. I want to remind the audience a link to download a copy of this webinar recording is going to be emailed to you in a few hours. So use it for your reference, and please share it with your friends and colleagues. It was an amazing webinar. Today's webinar is also going to be posted online within 24 hours. Just go to DealerOn.com/webinars to view our upcoming webinar schedule or access any of our past webinars too. Also, at the conclusion of this webinar, in just a moment, you're going to get a short survey. It is 3 short questions. We're going to ask you to please fill out those questions. We're always looking for quality feedback from our audience, and we want to know what you thought of today's presentation. So please let your opinion be heard. Also, Gabrielle Garrison is going to be presenting at the upcoming Digital Dealer Convention September 18th through the 20th in Vegas, baby. She's going to be presenting on the very first day. She's going to be discussing how dealers can and should motivate Instagram auto shoppers. She's going to tell you how you can tap into the 700 million monthly users on Instagram and how that can help increase your dealership's overall reach and lower your cost per lead when paired up with your Facebook campaigns. So, if you're ready to take a deep dive into Instagram and learn what motivates auto Instagrammers to engage with your dealership and complete their auto purchase journey on your dealership lot, then this is one you can't miss. For tickets and more information about the Digital Dealer Conference, visit digitaldealer.com. And DealerOn's infamous Digital Strategy Summit at Topgolf Chicago is coming next week. We're super pumped over here at DealerOn. Folks have been signing up left and right. We've decided to reserve the last 10 spots and give them away for free. What? All you have to do is use the code DealerOnVIP to waive the ticket price when registering. It is a one-day event in Chi-Town, and it's hosted by Google and DealerOn, and it focuses on selling cars through websites, paid search, and SEO. It is the best content you'll get all year, and you don't even have to fly around to different conferences to get it. Seriously, you can't afford to miss this. So remember to use use the code DealerOnVIP to get your ticket for free. Good luck, everyone. And invitations will be going out tomorrow for our next DealerOn webinar. Step up your SEM game with critical strategies that deliver. Over the last few years, more dealerships have delved into SEM and increased their digital savviness. However, that means the online automotive landscape is now more saturated, ad space has become more crowded, and listing pages more competitive and expensive. So if you're using the same SEM strategies from even just a year ago, you're going to see a diminished ROI. And this time, simply throwing more money at SEM won't solve the problem. You need to step up your SEM game with critical strategies that deliver. In this exciting one-hour webinar, Sean Stapleton, the one and only, will discuss some of the latest proven digital marketing strategies and tactics that deliver best-in-class results. These cutting-edge techniques and helpful resources will make your SEM campaigns easier to manage and improve productivity. Webinar attendees will gain valuable knowledge to ensure your campaigns are effective and relevant. Understanding the mechanics behind these paid search approaches will help prepare your dealership for success and will build your competitive advantage. Attendees will learn the latest SEM strategies with items such as expanded text ads, negative keyword management, creating highly relevant ads, and so much more. The time to act is now. Cookie cutter SEM won't separate you from the pack anymore. So if you're ready to step up your SEM game with critical strategies that deliver, then don't you dare miss this presentation. Register now. And don't forget, DealerOn's weekly webinars are held Thursdays at 12 noon Eastern, 11 a.m. Central, 10 a.m. Mountain, and 9 a.m. Pacific. If you have any questions, comments, or suggestions regarding our webinars and our topics, please feel free to contact me directly. Again, my name is Eliana Raggio, and I am everywhere. You can track me down online, Facebook, Twitter, Google+, you name it. I'm on all the automotive social networks. Or you know what? You can just email me directly at eliana@dealeron.com. Thank you all so very much for spending this time with us today, and I hope to see you all on another webinar in DealerOn's continuing education series. Take care.